You may have caught our next speaker at various locations around town. The Geek Market at, is it the Geek Market at Zeefoss? What's it called? Yeah, sorry, it's not that. You were there as well. Yeah. But if you attend that wonderful event, Sketchy's, on a monthly basis here at the Mercury Lounge, you may have drawn her yourself. Please welcome Cherry Valance.
Where was I for the no public speaking option? Where was that? Didn't mention that ever. So hi, my name is Jacqueline. I'm an independent model and artist under the name Cherry Valance. I've got a degree in art history and theory from U of O. I'm also a local alternative and independent graphic novel employee at the Comic Book Shoppe here in Ottawa. So that's me. And this is me several showers later. So today I want to talk about addressing gender issues in the geek community through independent graphic novels, webcomics, and zines. I'm a cisgender female, so I'm going to be talking about issues that are mainly experienced with other cisgendered females, but identity and inclusion are totally intersectional, and they're just as important for marginalized groups, and they deserve their own presentations. So this is the climate for many women right now in the geek community, and there are many women right now in the geek community. And a lot of times they're made to feel quite foreign. And this artist has been able to draw a direct comparison between her experiences and the experiences of others, which is a really great way of gaining empathy from people who may not have been in a situation where they've had to defend themselves. I'm reading, deal with it. This is a great example of how to address double standards and to engage with the power dynamic of belittling those who are deemed not a real geek because their knowledge is not as vast. Now, not all men in the community are like this, and I don't want to portray that, but it's enough that it's a problem. The atmosphere of hostility can be expressed through memes like the fake geek girl, and this is again the idea that women in the community don't actually have the credentials to justify their interests, that they're somehow there for attention, but these memes can be subverted. And the next one's coming up. Here's an example of some negativity faced online by a lot of female cosplayers. And cosplayers are people who are costumers and they're actors. And in person, we're often corrected by males who themselves may not have all of the information, like claiming there are no Green Lanterns who are female to a female Green Lantern. So the sexy blank costume is also limiting for women because it makes them more of an object than a participant. Sexy costumes on people and characters are not a problem, and sexuality is not a problem, but the lack of choice is. When you do something like slut-shaming and harassment are also issues that have inspired vital comics and projects such as Cosplay is Not Consent. And here comics can be used to spread awareness and convey solidarity to other females who don't feel safe. And if you've ever been to a convention floor, and if you've ever been, even not in costume, you've probably experienced situations of harassment. So body shaming is also closely linked to this culture, which often shows female characters as overly sexualized or strictly adherent to high, if not ridiculous, beauty standards. This can be seen in popular poses such as the no spine and the boobs and butt, which if you read comics, you will see a lot. Body image and objectification are huge issues prevalent in mainstream comics and popular media. Some expectations are physically impossible to recreate, and it should be noted that male characters also look very exaggerated, but they can represent a power fantasy, and in that way are still under a heterosexual male gaze. Escher Girls is a user-submitted website that exposes anatomical limitations in original art with redraws. And this is really helpful when you're learning to draw your own comics so that you can keep proper proportions, assuming your characters are humans. I'll let you just take it all in. Yeah. A similar project is the Hawkeye Initiative, spawned by artist Ginger Hayes. Here, ridiculous poses, often seen performed by female characters, are made more obvious when used on a male character, for example, the Mighty Avenger Hawkeye. And it forces us to think, why is this okay and standard for females, but it looks silly when a male does it? According to the Mary Sue, based on 3.5 million social media conversations, 54% talking about San Diego Comic-Con, which is one of the biggest conventions in America, were female. And 46% were male. So why are women who are clearly a marketable demographic so underrepresented in the comic book industry? Part of that could be backlash. Because many of us face that when we attempt to voice our grievances. You might not be taken seriously, you might be propositioned, insulted, threatened, but let it remind you that you're needed. There are resources in gender theory to help you build strong writing and artwork. Gender Through Comic Books is one such online course. It included interactive Skype interviews with members of the industry like Gail Simone, who's the current writer for DC Batgirl. And DC has had some issues recently with a lot of their writing and a lot of their female characters. So the more people like this you can have direct interaction with, the better. Feminist Frequency is also a really concise and informative way to learn about stereotypes through mass media culture. You can find Anita Sarkeesian's website on YouTube and a lot of her web series there. Her most recent project, Tropes versus Women in Video Games, was crowdsourced through Kickstarter, which is another really valuable source for independent projects. Capital Geek Girls is a local fan club, and it's founded by Jordan Danger, and it focuses on female positive spaces and activities. The Comic Book Shop on Bank Street is the official headquarters, and we host a lot of safe space events. So a lot of ladies' nights, but it's not everything on pink is for sale, or everything that's pink is for sale. It's more about being able to shop without being leered at. Gender in Comics and Geek Culture Ottawa is a relatively new localized offshoot of the Gender in Comic Books class, and it's a great place to share your articles, your work, and participate in discussions with other authors, artists, and consumers. And sometimes pictures of cats as well. Inspirational artists are already creating progressive work, like that of Alex Law, who's the artist behind Little Girls Are Better at Designing Superheroes Than You. The project brings young female fans the opportunity to see themselves as superheroes instead of vicariously through common default male protagonists. This is a picture of my friend Critical Miss with her new daughter, Kira. If she, like her mother, finds herself interested in nerdy pursuits, hopefully she'll be joining a community that welcomes her. Or she'll make a really great comic book about it. Thanks.